Bayonetta franchise made an approximated $450 million.
Damn.
That's not including merchandise.
Cloudie McDoom.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Cloudie McDoom. So this isn't really a reaction video, but it's more so, I guess you can call it amateur news reporting, faux journalism. I don't care. I was on Twitter the other day, and I happened to stumble upon this Bayonetta thing. And before I get into all this, I want you guys to understand that no, I'm not like directly picking sides or trying to, say this is that, that's this. I'm not a huge supporter of Twitter justice. I encourage all of you to watch the entire video because I want you to make your own assessment. I want you to exercise critical thinking. You decide how you feel about this. Essentially, like I said, I was looking through social media, came across Miss Helena Taylor, who's the voice of the Bayonetta character. I've never played the games, but I want to for reasons. So I came across some videos she had posted. So we're gonna kind of go down the rabbit hole together. Me and the squad, that's the community. We're gonna go down this rabbit hole together. Okay, yeah, so her first post here, it says, your friends, worldlings, Bayo nutters, okay, hear ye. And it's got hashtag platinum games, hashtag Nintendo, etc., etc. I think this is the first one in the sequence. So let's
Hello, my name's Helena Taylor, and I am the voice of Bayonetta, and I would like to explain to you why I didn't voice Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta franchise made an approximated $450 million.
Damn.
That's not including merchandise. As an actor, I trained for a total of 7.5 years. 3 years at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, LAMDA, with voice coach Barbara Barkery, and 4.5 years with the legendary Larry Moss in Los Angeles. And what did they think this was worth? What did they offer to pay me? The final offer to do the whole game as a buyout, a flat rate, was $4,000 US.
Ooh.
This is an insult to me. The amount of time that I took to work on my talent and everything that I have given to this game and to the fans. I am asking the fans to boycott this game and instead spend the money that you would have spent on this game donating it to charity. Didn't want the world, didn't ask for too much. I was just asking for a decent, dignified living wage. What they did was legal, but it was immoral.
Gotcha.
I guess my first thing about that, she acknowledged what they did was legal, but immoral. So with that, my heart goes out to her. She seems like she's very hurt by what happened, so I'm not belittling that whatsoever. Since I'm not in the gaming industry or voice acting industry whatsoever, I'm not sure how the contracts and things work. I do wonder, so when they sit you down for these, discussions, if it's written out like, okay, this is how much we're offering you for, flat rate, like she said, this is what we're telling you right here in writing. If the contract, and some may not agree with me again, this is strictly just me putting this out there. If the contract itself said, hey, this is what you're getting, you sign it, I mean, at that point, you know what I mean? It's kind of, how can you really come back from that? Even if it's a bad deal, it's like you kind of have to respect the contract. You know what I mean? I'm sure in retrospect, it's like, wait, the game I used my voice in made this much? Oh no, you owe me. Again, if it's a contract, I'd feel the same way. If I threw my voice into something, they paid me like $100 and I agreed to it with my signature, my John Hancock. If that thing went on to make like $1 million, yeah, I'm gonna feel kind of sick in my stomach. But at the same time, if I agreed to it, what can be done? So let's go deeper. So here's part 2 of what she had to say.
Now, those of you who follow me on Twitter know that I'm more of a lover than a fighter, and sometimes think I'm not very much like Bayonetta at all, but I guess I am a little bit more like Bayonetta than I thought. I understand that boycotting this game is a personal choice, and there are those that won't, and that's fine. But if you're someone who cares about people, who cares about the world around you, who cares about who gets hurt with these financial decisions, then I urge you to boycott this game. I decided to do it to stand up in solidarity with people all over the world who do not get paid properly for their talents. Fat cats cream off the top and leave us the rotten crumbs. You know, in England right now, there are nurses going to food banks to feed their children. This is not right. This is not acceptable. It impacts mental health. Because of it, I suffered from depression and anxiety. I worried that I was going to be on the streets. That terrified me so much that once I was suicidal. I am not afraid of the non-disclosure agreement. I can't even afford to run a car. What are they going to do? Take my clothes? Good luck to them. Bayonetta always stands up for those with less power and stands up for what is right. And in doing this, you stand with her.
Okay, that one was kind of loaded. Now I'm gonna step into true Cloudie mode and kind of break down that whole spiel. Now the first part, I get it. She was just telling people, look, this is how much I got paid and I'm upset. But legally they were in the right, but immorally I'm pissed off. This one, part two, with all due respect, because I know there are a lot of Bayonetta fans and stans out there who might see this and be like, how dare you disagree with her? You're canceled, Cloudie, you're canceled. I'm just being logical. Share my thoughts in the most respectful, gentleman way possible, because that's my mother and father raised me. I'm not gonna say anything off the wall. It's just, I feel like she kind of started to extrapolate a little bit, and let me explain. She kind of took her situation, her isolated incident with this gaming company, Platinum Games, and because she was hurt by the fact that she, obviously signed a contract, didn't get as much as she wanted. It's hard to explain, and some of you in the comments can probably articulate this better than me right now. Like, she started to pull from other areas, like, by the way, poor nurses who don't have money. This made me feel this type of way, this made me feel that type of way, mental health. And I'm not denying those things. I'm not gonna deny someone's emotions, but I feel like that was her attempt to really dig into everyone's emotional triggers. You get what I'm saying? Instead of it being like a practical, hey, look, I signed a deal that didn't pan out in my favor, and I'm hurt by it. She kind of went listen, everybody. One, I don't care about my NDA, as I just told you. Damn that. These are my feelings, these are my emotions, and I need you to get angry with me. I need you to boycott this game. And that right there, I think is a little unfair on multiple levels. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, let's just pretend in a parallel universe, I'm a British white woman, Anglo-Saxon, whatever, and I'm the new voice of Bayonetta in Bayonetta 3. I see this, and I'm like, yo, I'm a voice actress too. I'm working just like you are. Why are you trying to boycott something I put work into? Why? What did I do? I get you being upset with the company and stuff, but hey, if I can't have it, nobody can. Low-key crabs in a barrel mentality. Mind you, whatever beefs you have with the game company, whether they've wronged you legally or not, deal with them, in private. Can we renegotiate? Can we do something? I feel like that was kind of that was a bit much. And again, I'm not taking a dump on everyone's love for this woman and what she's done as the Bayonetta character. Okay, this is part 3, and maybe she'll address everything I just said and be like, you know what, I was kind of wrong. Let me back up. Maybe she was in her feelings. So let's see what part 3 says.
For those of you who are interested, I'd like to go into a little more detail about the back and forth. The first thing was I was required to audition again, because sometimes voices change with time. So I auditioned for the role and obviously passed with flying colours. They then sent me an insulting offer. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to write to Hideki Kamiya. I'm going to write to him and ask him for what I'm worth. So I got a friend who has been in business in Japan to write in Japanese to him. I know he read it because I got a reply. I got a reply saying that he values greatly my contribution to the game and that the fans really want me to voice it over. And the memory of first meeting me as Bayonetta is a memory I hold dear. So I thought, great, thank God. That was when they offered me $4,000. Do you know, Platinum had the cheek to say that I was busy, that they couldn't make it work with Miss Taylor's schedule. Well, I had nothing but time. They now have a new girl voicing her over. And I love actors. I wish her all the joy in the world. I wish her all the jobs, but she has no right to say she is the voice of Bayonetta. I created that voice. She has no right to sign merchandise as Bayonetta, any more than I have the right to sign as Eva Green, even though I was her parrot on the video game The Golden Compass. that portrayal is hers and hers alone. They'll probably try and do a spin-off with Jan. Don't buy that either.
You know what? Let me save everything else I'm gonna say. Let's keep going. That way this video isn't 30 minutes long. There's a part, somebody with the, I think there's a part 4. A lot of memes and things like that. I'm imagining, I'm not reading them all, but I imagine it's a lot of people like, hold up, you know, let's definitely get in our feelings and help her boycott this, you know, despite contracts. Here, let me go back to her main page. That will be part 1, 2, 3, and I guess this is the last part.
So, to Camilla, the presidents of Nintendo, and all other fat cats around the world, I would like to quote to you from the greatest moral teacher who ever lived, Jesus Christ, from his parable of Lazarus and the rich man. Lazarus was a poor beggar with sores all over his body, and he lived outside the house of a rich man who banqueted and feasted every day and wore purple. Lazarus even hoped for even a scrap off the rich man's table, which he never gave Lazarus. Only the dogs pitied him and licked his sores. Lazarus died, and the angels took him straight up to heaven, to the bosom of Abraham. Meanwhile, the rich man went to hell and suffered torment, and in his torment he cried out to Abraham, "Abraham, please save me, take me up to heaven." To which Abraham said, "You had your joy in life. Now this is set for eternity." So he said, "Please tell my brothers who are living like I was, send them a messenger so they can repent." To which Abraham said, "We've sent you Moses and the prophets." "Oh, but if you send Lazarus, if a man comes back from the dead, they will listen to him." To which Abraham replied, "If you did not listen to Moses and the prophets, it's unlikely that you'll listen to a man who's risen from the dead." I would like to thank you, the fans who have followed me on Twitter, commented kindly and liked my work. Bless you. I wish you all the joy and luck in the world.
Smashing!
Well, first off, I'll go ahead and say I remember that story very well because growing up in Alabama, part of the Bible Belt, I do recall Sunday school. I remember that. I don't know if that applies here. From my perspective, if Lazarus signed a contract, I'm gonna live out here on the street because I didn't work my money right. Tragic story, but I don't know if these are, you know, apples to apples. So all that happened, got all that information on her side of the story, right? I was scrolling on Twitter again, which is the worst thing anyone could do with their spare time. And I came across this post, and this is from this guy, Jason Schreier. You know, this guy, I think, is a reporter at Bloomberg. I think he did his own reporting on the matter. So let me go and find what he said, if I can find the beginning of it. Okay, here we go. Last weekend, Bayonetta's former voice actor called for fans to boycott the new game, saying she was offered just $4,000 to work on it. Her Twitter videos went viral and stoked a debate over voice actor wages. But the full story is much more complicated. And there's a link here, but you can check that out yourselves. We'll scroll down. Platinum offered Helena Taylor between $3K and $4K per session for at least 5 sessions, according to 2 people familiar with the deal and documentation viewed by Bloomberg. In response, the people said, Taylor asked for a 6-figure fee and residuals. Negotiations fell apart. Okay, so these are sources that apparently were pretty involved with the, situation. So the next tweet says, Taylor denies this account. In an email to Bloomberg, she called that version of events an absolute lie and said that Platinum is trying to save their ass and the game. Okay. Taylor's videos have received more than 9.5 million views on Twitter and led to a deluge of calls from fans and pundits to boycott Bayonetta 3. But accounts and evidence reviewed by Bloomberg make it clear that those videos were not the whole story. All right, so definitely a lot of he said, she said, hearsay going on. Taylor's videos also led to a barrage of Twitter vitriol and harassment toward Platinum developers and new Bayonetta actor Jennifer Hale, who put out a statement saying she could not comment and subsequently retweeted a telling thread. I feel like critical thinking is a skill that needs to be taught as its own subject in school. 1, if you only hear one side or part of one side of a story, you haven't heard the whole story. 2, spreading an opinion based off partial information can spread misinformation. I could not agree with that any harder. It's unlikely that the full story will get as much traction or as many eyeballs as the original Twitter videos, which in my opinion raises some interesting questions about pleas to emotion and how information is disseminated in the social media age. So there you go. What I gather from all this, and again, this is just me chiming in, even though technically it's none of my business. Nobody's business but the parties in question. That would be Helena Taylor and Platinum Games. From my standpoint, I can't be mad at Platinum Games. And here's the thing, I'm not even mad at Helena Taylor. Like, I get it. People getting their feelings. Like, I've done it before where I was upset how I was mistreated at a convention, a local one. I took it out on them on social media because I was angry because they were like, more or less treating me like like there are witnesses to that. I should have handled it professionally behind the scenes, but I got mad. I got my feelings. I said some stuff online. A lot of my supporters were like, yo, that convention is trash. And now I'm technically blackballed from it. But lucky for me, I've kind of transcended the cosplay scene, so that's irrelevant. Point being is I know what it's like to get in your feelings sometimes, but I feel like she started to kind of go down a rabbit hole of really trying to like tug at everyone's like heartstrings. You know what I mean? Like really trying to lay it on thick, you know, with like Bible verses and talking about like mental health issues and things. That's not a joke. Like I said, as someone who has battled depression, you know, I still have to cope with it, deal with it. The best example of that would be like me getting a bad deal like this, right? I signed a contract, whatever. In my attempt to make everyone feel sorry for me, I get online, I'm like, yeah, you know, they gave me this bad deal, you know, about the time that my sister passed away, which actually happened. Everyone who follows my content, you know that happened May of 2021. But that'd be like me taking that and trying to insert it into my own situation. And I personally feel like that's a bit much. You know what I mean? Wait a minute, that's not even relevant to legalities, NDA, breach of contracts, things like that. I'm still gonna go back and play the Bayonetta games. I'm still gonna go and experience the joy everyone else did. But I'm also gonna support Jennifer Hale for the third one, you know what I mean? Which brings me to another point. When she said that Jennifer had no right to like sign autographs as Bayonetta and stuff, as a voice actor, I'm not a voice actor, but I'm pretty sure it's an unwritten rule or it's kind of a silent understanding that you're just the voice of a character. The aesthetic, that belongs to the studio, the company, what have you. And I get it. Like, Bayonetta is a badass character. I've seen the pictures. She's a bad bitch or a bad witch in this case. And maybe the voice actress or Miss Helena Taylor, maybe she got really enveloped in that, all the fan love, all the admiration. And then you kind of say, oh man, you know, I am Bayonetta, shooting guns out of my high heels, slowing down time with my bad, sexy ass. I get it. She's an empowering character. But I feel like maybe she got too enveloped and started to kind of believe her own hype. And you hate to see it because I've done it in the past before. It happens to the best of us. That's why I'm trying to make it clear that I understand where Miss Helena Taylor is coming from. But at the same time, she might have gone too far. I'm not gonna get on here and be like, oh, well, I need to boycott Bayonetta 3 because everyone else is saying boycott Bayonetta 3 and blah, 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 blah. But inversely, I'm also not gonna get on here and be like, man, Helena Taylor, how could you try to blast somebody on Twitter, your reckless ass? Like, I'm not gonna go that far. Again, this video was intended to show you guys what I saw. This is all I've seen, you know what I mean? So yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments, you know, suggest ways that it could have gone about better, or maybe you're on Helena's side 100%, like, yo, I hate Platinum Games, I'm gonna boycott Bayonetta 3, which that's your prerogative. But yeah, man, thank you for tuning in. Again, hopefully this video wasn't too long to where you lost interest. If you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. Again, like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy, Cloudie.
Gotcha.